Farscape Engineers Inspector summary video. This is the repair in detail. Farscape on the rear of the building. This is number 7 down to number 6. Alright, so definitely got rust buildup. And if we're going to go for a load test, anything that's original needs to be verified, siliconed, primed so we can verify it. Otherwise, change the bolts out. Verify it or change the bolts out. Seal it like we did here. Everything must be sealed. Any rust, corrosion, as soon as you get anything that's suspect, you got to verify it. Any rust in the connection, you got to change that rivet out. Any rust in that connection, change the rivet out. All the corners on these things are pretty much blown out. So every one of these corners is going to get changed out. And that's pretty standard all the way down this fire escape. Okay, we're doing number 7 down to number 6. Okay, so any welded connection, I need you to create a bracket, an angle bracket over here, bolt top, bolt bottom. We basically eliminated the need to verify, X-ray or load test that weld. Any welds found on this job has to be backed up by a bolt. No welds left behind without a backup bolt. Let's go down and talk about the brackets. Okay. Any cement work, identify so that a mason can do it. But anything within our capability belongs to us. Usually 4 to 6 inch square of our piece. You got to clean those out and verify it if we're going to load test. If we're not going to load test, that rivet's got to come out. We got to put a new bolt. Or if there's room, we leave the original rivet. It has no evidence of rust, and we put a backup bolt. Try to seal anything that water can get in the back. Same thing here. Verify this, leave it primed and sealed for me. Or if it's in good order and there's no rust inside, we could pop another bolt back here and basically keep that one. And basically it's like putting a belt, suspenders on a belt. Okay, so as soon as you get this happening, that's got to get changed out. Okay, so any original hardware can stay if we're going to be verifying and load testing. Okay, all these connections clean. So the boxes, let's talk about these treads. A lot of times by the time I get way down to the bottom, the treads keep getting worse. But right now, if there's these are in good connection, you just got to make sure this is all cleaned out. You got to follow EPA guidelines because of lead, and you put a bolt in the middle of that, 1/2 inch bolt. Seal this up and you bevel the caulking. Okay, anything into the building, you got to seal it once it's repaired. See that cement repair? Got to repair that. Got to repair that with cement first, caulking second. See how bad those are in towards the front? Again, we're doing number 7 down to number 6. So a lot of these treads look in pretty good order. They just got rust building up on there. But again, because so here's an example where we may fix and rebolt the tops, but as you get down to the bottom, these are bad. So 100% of these treads come out. These 2 or 3 treads come out, rebolt it, cut the rivets, new bolts, but you would never leave that in there. You got to make sure 100% there's no internalized rust. All right, I'm going to get to the next. This is a sort of a wacky situation because number 7 comes down to number 6, and it's sort of resting on that piece. But a lot of these pieces are not properly tied, so I believe there's going to be some life safety concerns here first, in order to make it safe, and then we can do some of the work, okay? And I believe this is one of the floors that we have a concern here. So that is the repair from 7 down to 6. Okay, 6 going down to 5. We got cement issues. So again, always repair with cement, then caulk afterwards. Repair with cement, then caulk afterwards. If we have some major problems with the cement going to the building, it may involve a mason. It may be beyond our repair order. So a lot of these, as you can see, gone. A lot more weather hits this. Corners are gone, see? So 100% of the corners got to be done. Okay? So we've definitely got water trying to get in between the flats, so we got to clean all these flats, and you got to seal it so the water's not getting back inside these flats. Okay? You've got cement here that has popped some of these sills, and they've replaced them recently. All right, let's get to the other side. Okay, so again, we're doing number 6 down to number 5. So cement issues. Again, once you re-cement it, then you can, to avoid any future cement, you can also put a clip in here, and the clip is going to be higher. So we're putting an expansion bolt up here, seal that up so that it's not utilized in the future, and then new bolts. See, this is already asking for new bolts right here. Okay, the corners are shot. Every single corner, as you keep going up, the corners are shot. Cement. See, you got to work all the cement. So on average, you're going to find that the cements on this side are all going to need attention. I'd say we're going to be hitting 50, if not 75% of them. They're not going to need to the point where you're going to see, as I keep going down, 100% of the what do you call it? Bricks removed. That's a mason's job. That we won't be able to do that. As long as we can repair it within our scope, it's good. If it gets beyond that, we have to notify the client, and they'll have a mason come in and go beyond that. All right, let's go down the stairs. You can already see I got problems on the stringer clip holding this whole stringer. This right side needs to be redone. This side over here, even though it doesn't have it, if we're gonna load test, it's one thing. Otherwise, 100% change all the bolts. On the treads, we're gonna either reinforce the treads with a backup bolt, or we're gonna swap out all these bolts, but looks like these are in good order and they just need to be backed up, but any rust on top needs to be cleansed. So let's walk down slowly. My concern from the 7th to the 6th, which is here, is that some of these have popped. Let me show you where they've popped. Yeah, it's okay. So you see this connection here that's holding the staircase? It's already fallen. So this is a life safety issue. So number 6, number 7 coming down on number 6 is a life safety issue right there. So we need some emergency repairs done first. Same thing here, because a lot of times this thing is relying on this railing plus this flat to act as a truss, basically tying this all in. So the weight of the stairs has nothing to bear on. These things are only buried 8 to 12 inches deep. So emergency repairs on number 6 going down to 5. Going down, looking at all the treads, you got some buildup, but it looks like it's all surface rust. It doesn't look as bad as it really looks. And so number 6 down to number 5, you got to change. If any of them have excessive rust, we're going to take out the whole tread anyway. Otherwise, if they're nice and tight, give me a 1/2 inch backup bolt, or if it's fast, to cut those rivets out, put a new 3/8, and we're good to go. Let's talk about the cement from up above. Number 6 down to number 5. That one needs to be repaired. This one has been recently repaired, but you need to seal it. You got to make sure there's no rust growth in between these two. This looks like it just needs to be sealed. Sealed, recently repaired. See, if it needs that much work, that's beyond our scope. That's somebody else's that's a mason's activity. So you may have that going down. Okay. You can see, needs attention. Been recently repaired. And even if it's been recently repaired, you got to get back in there, remove any corrosion, and then seal it so that water's not getting back in there. Okay. So this one looks like about 25% only. Needs some major work. The rest of it is all just attention and sealing of this floor. So that's number 6 down to number 5. So now we're on number 5. fire escape number 5, or platform number 5 on the rear. As you can see, cement issues. Let's get the cement in there, then seal it. Corners, another blown out corner. So pretty much all the corners going down are going to be gone. It's pretty common that the flat going across plus this railing, and a lot of them tend to have a problem at the stairs and where they receive another tread. So again, this is number 5 going down to number 4, and as you can see, as soon as that starts eating the heads, we got to change out all these railings anyway. And again, so pretty much a lot of this is showing rust and corrosion, and so if that's going to change your bolts out anyway. So, and again, the corners are shot. So in order to, a lot of times to get to these corners, you have to remove the rail. So we're in those catch-22s that as we keep going through this, we're already at 50% changeover on a lot of these bolted connections, primarily the rail section. So let's go down. Let's go down from number 4 down to number 3. Let's talk about these treads, see if there's any issues going down, and then we'll look at the cement from underneath. The stringers look pretty good. The clips, again, but if we're going to avoid the load test, they're going to come out anyway, get swapped out. As you can see, there's no emergencies from number 4 down to number 3, but there is rust in these connections. So all these connections that rely on this flat on the front need to be addressed, but there's no life safety issue. And as you can see from previous activity here, a lot of cement work. So the corners definitely going to need some work. These have all been recently reworked. You got to get in there, close them up, seal them up, make sure water's not getting back in there. So it looks like all of these were done. Treads got rust on top. So, and again, you get rust that starts getting major rust, I want the whole tread pulled out. If it's a minor one like this one, then you can just do a backup. A backup, drill a hole, put in a 1 inch, put in a 1/2 inch bolt between the two, or you can cut these out and put in 2 3/8. Whatever's faster and more economic to the client. All right, let's go to the other side. Again, this is 4 to 3. Then we're going to do 3 to 2. There was something that happened here. We got severe cracking that's happened here. There's something happening here. I don't know if there was an AC or something going on here, but I don't know if somebody's been pouring water, but there's a huge amount of corrosion happening that is either coming from this apartment, but this is not normal. Could also be that somebody had logs here. That's another thing. And it just stayed moist all the time, and the logs basically ate this, or a rug or something that stayed here for a long time. But this has got to be repaired. Cement, corners, change out all these bolts. So as you can see, a lot of times the railings are going to pop out in order for us to deal with some of this anyway. And you got to scrape and paint the entire structure. Okay, so let's look at, again, we're going to be going 4 down to 3. I'm sorry, 3 going down to 2, 2 going down to 1. So let's just go see the other side. But we have rust, we already walked from that side. So as you can see, a majority of these were already redone. And if we get into any repairs down below that they need to have this much brick replaced, it's a mason's project. It doesn't belong to us. Okay, let me just walk down these stairs. Usually like to walk backwards. Okay, see all the rust inside that connection? See all the rust inside that connection? So you're going to change out all these bolts. So this is heavy corrosion. So 100% of these treads are going to come out of this fire escape staircase. So this is 3 down to 2. 100% of these treads is going to get done. Okay. Take a look at the cement issues on number 3. That corner needs to be rebuilt, typical of all the ones above. That already got rebuilt. Rebuilt just needs to be sealed. Looked at. And rebuilt, and that corner needs to be, looks like it needs some attention on that corner also. Okay, 3 down to 2. All right, now we're going to be doing 2 down to 1. Farscape number 1, Farscape number 2 going down to platform number 1, we're in the rear. Again, cement, change these bolts. See, when this starts happening, that bolt is suspect. Looks like they already repaired that. We got to get in and seal that so no water's getting in there, because a lot of the time the work is not that good. A bulging corner, so we got to do a lot of these tying back in is 100% change out anyway. To avoid this load test, we're going to do that anyway. And a lot of these joiner plates here, all of them are gone on all of them. So those got to be clean, no rust inside the connection. Now, this is another area of concern in that she's already pulled out. So I don't know what's going on here, in that I think that corner is already pitched up, but they froze it in the moment, you know what I'm saying? So there's no way to lift that. So we're gonna have to basically just create a reattachment point up here. But she was dipping and they already repaired it and sealed it exactly in its frozen point. So that's gonna be pretty much frozen in its time. All right, so let's talk about 3 going down to 2. Staircase, let's verify. Got to change all those bolts. Look at all the rust inside there. That one looks pretty good. Change all the bolts though after. Look at all the rust. Look at all the major rust. So on the back side, you're starting to see that major rust is going to be a factor on some of these treads going down. And so because of that, let's see if we have any more life safety issues. Not down here. So 3 going down to 2, but all these treads have rust on either one side or the other. See all that major rust? So that as soon as you pull out one bolt, you got to change out the others. Just pull it out, clean it, put it back with new bolts. Not a single ½ inch on this staircase from 3 going down to 2. Let's take a look at this cement, and it's like we talked about, a majority of these were already redone on the cement of number 3 going down to number 2. So yeah, these are all done. So you just got to look at them, make sure and button them up, tighten them up, put silicone in them. And that's 3 going down to 2. Going down to 1. This one is going to have the Farscape ladder portion at the very top. You got anything that's creating a bulge, anything that's creating accumulating, you got to clean it out. So you got to pull the rails out. So that's going to change the majority of these bolts. You got some cement that got repacked on this. Again, this is 2 going down to 1. And a lot of times the corners are shot and bulging out. This is carrying a lot of extra weight. See that bulge right there? Got to change that out. You got to make sure the railing, all the connections on the ladder that gets dropped are in good order. This is the majority of the ladder. Components are on from the 2nd to the 1st. Cement-wise, no electric. You know, you got to be careful why they have this electric here. We got to find out what's going on here. This is not good unless there's a light of some sort, but I don't see it. But that shouldn't be there. And that needs to be addressed. What's going on with that old electric box there? All right, going down, rust in some of the standard connections. Scrape it. You got to scrape this whole thing using the EPA Renovator license standards. Going down the staircase, let's see if there's any life safety issues. And these Farscapes are on the right side. Look like they're heavily corroded. So this is going to be another staircase where 100% of the treads going to be pulled out. Look, heavy corrosion on the clip, heavy corrosion on the clip. Again, we're going down, see heavy corrosion. Yeah, 100% of these treads on 2 going down to 1. 100% of the treads need to be rebolted, cleaned, silicone, to make sure you're on the silicone, you got a bevel so it doesn't accumulate anything. Okay, let's take a look at number 2, cement-wise. This looks like it needs repair. That one looks like it needs repair. This one looks like it needs repair. This one looks like it needs repair. Not major blowouts, but you know, significant cracks on the cement. We got debris here. We got to move all this debris. Nobody can have debris out here. Looks like it needs repair. This one's been repaired, but look at all the holes that are letting water get in there. That one's been repaired. Gotta seal it. Okay, so 3 coming down to 2. I'm sorry, 2 coming down to 1. Number 1, platform number 1. This is the rear fire escape. Again, this is what happens when iron and cement marry. I can pull that out. You can already see that moving. But spalling, change all the bolts. Corners are shot. So it's a majority of these bolts are coming out anyway. There's very little left because a lot of times these bolts are sitting there with the heads or the nuts are gone on these. So, and this one concludes in a ladder. You got debris all over the place. You got to get rid of all this debris, scrape it as per EPA guidelines, and then we got this ladder. This ladder's got a hook. This hook is usually not supposed to be this low. I know what's going, because I'm going to bump my head on that one. So we got to bring that up higher and make it so that it can drop and hits the ground. But as you can see, look at the corrosion on some of these clips. Got it. So you got to rebuild any of these pieces. They're made out of angle, 2x2, 3x3, 4x4. So any of these angles can be done. No welding on this fire escape, and all the cement work, it's got to be done similar to the floors up above. You got to go in and check all the cement work and make sure that, you know, and any connections got to be cleansed. Any grading, you got to see what's going on between the slats, clean it, chip it, seal it. And it's a lot of work, you know. Got to get this so that water stops getting in there and creating rust jacking, and you got to stop water from getting into the building, creating ice jacking, because a combination of rust jacking and ice jacking is tearing this fire escape apart. Any questions? This is the rear of the building. Fire escape engineers, inspect the summary video. Repair plan, all floors, floor by floor. Any questions? This is Cisco Meneses, 866-649-0333.